Hey, welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Glad to have everybody here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to our little stream. What is the lunch stream, you may be asking? Well, this is where we hang out with you wonderful folks for the next hour or so, answer your questions about the game. We'll do a roster review. We'll just let madness ensue and see where things lead us. So, with that, let's introduce everybody here with us today on the panel. Small panel, but we've got what we need because we've got Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, the Troll Extraordinaire, here with us.
Ding. That is all.
That is all, huh?
Ding.
You're a bad man. Also joining us, who's not a bad man, is the one and only Grim, who's a little bit under the weather, but is here with us right now. Oh, God, Jesus. Oh,
Ding.
I am getting better. Hopefully.
It's like, bring out your dead. I'm feeling better. No, you're quite dead.
No, I feel happy.
No, you're not. You feel very sick. Stop it. Oh, goodness. All right, so the way the lunch stream works, if you have questions, go ahead and put your questions into the chat. Make sure you put question in front of your statement so we know that it is an actual question. This helps us scoop it up because sometimes punctuation is not used and it makes us hard to know if that's a question or not. Put question in front of the statement, we know. If you haven't already, stop what you're doing, give us a thumbs up on the video. It helps us get our content out to the YouTube world. Also, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Obviously, you love watching the channel, you love watching us do live streams, so hit the subscribe button. That way you know when we're doing live stream. We do a ton of them. Also, if you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. We really appreciate all our Patreon supporters. All the money we see from Patreon goes directly back into the stream. One day we'll have hookers and blow, but right now we're just trying to make sure that we can provide you guys with the most and best content that's out there that we can possibly bring you. So we're always doing what we can. So every little bit helps, and we appreciate everybody who is a Patreon supporter. Also, we have a little cool fun things for you while we're streaming. We have the super chat function, and we have you become a YouTube sponsor. All right, $4.99 a month. There we go. Got all that out of the way. Let us begin with LO roster review, and today we're doing Northerners profile, and he is in AOK Acolyte. Interesting name, I like that. AOK Acolytes. Dr. Finn, what are we looking at today here for old Northerner?
So Northerner, aka Northern Border on the Discord, says he's been playing since January 2018, so it's getting close to 1 year for him.
Wow.
So very nice job. And he said he is looking for advice on territory war offense and defense squads, building a second fleet, and for mods, whether he should be slicing or farming mods and how he should balance the mod game.
Great question. So let's kind of look at offensive territory wars teams. So obviously the one you have it's pretty good already. Jedi Knight Revan is a great team on offense.
It's awful. You should never use that team ever.
Yeah, don't use that team. What am I saying? So I think you're fine with the Jedi team. Let's start looking at some of the other ones. Treya is one. Let's look at your Sith team overall, because that's a great offensive team as well. Let's see here.
He does have a 6-star Treya, Gear 11, with double
now.
Zeta. So,
Scion, Palpatine, Treya, good. Nihilus, good.
Sith Troopers Gear 10, which is also nice.
Yeah, get him to Gear 11.
Little ways away from 11.
Yeah, I mean, you can. There's a lot of teams you can use with Treya that you can kill. Pretty much everything but Revan. I mean, there's no team that the Treya team cannot beat.
You can kill Revan with Treya. You just need a fast Thrawn. You need a ridiculously fast Thrawn. And you need to face a less than optimally modded Revan team. But it's possible.
It is possible, but not recommended.
Or Fallen Bastila, which he does have.
He does have Fallen Bastila 4 stars, so that does help tremendously. So, so I should restate my statement. Outside of Revan, those are pretty much guaranteed wins. Revan himself is you have to look at those factors. So if you are going to run the Traya, Scion, Nihilus, say Palpatine team against Revan, because Palpatine is amazing with Thrawn, Thrawn's got to be faster than the Revan. If he goes first, you win. It is that simple, because you fracture Revan, they never get a chance to do your thing. Then you isolate Yoda, burn his little butt down, and then it's over. It comes down to that. So it comes down to speed on your Thrawn when you're facing a Revan team. There are some other combinations where people take out Palpatine and put in Nest. But I don't like doing that because I like to use Nest in other spots. But it can be done if you need to do that. It's a very good offensive team. That's why you don't see Traya on defense as much as you used to, mainly because there's a lot of counters to Traya on defense because the AI does some dumb things. Can't help it, but offensively, the Sith are fantastic. So far, you've got really two powerfully strong teams that you can use. Now, the other one that I really like on offense, some people like on defense, but I think it's a great offensive team, is the JTR Resistance team. Now, the team that I run is, now you've got two offensive teams when it comes to resistance. Now, the team that I run is JTR R2, BB-8, Scavray, and Holdo. Now, your Holdo's only 6-star in level gear, just level 1, gear 1. But if you can get her into gear 11 range and stuff, she's a perfect tank for that team, and you will do very fine on offense with that team. Now, you want to keep Trooper, Finn, Poe, Pilot together. Holdo's a great person to add on that. If not, you can add Cassian to your Finn team. Now, your Finn team is what you want to face if you're facing a lot of Finn fast enough can take out Traya. Long as your Finn is faster, First Order is a great counter with the Finn team. JTR is a great counter to a lot of teams on offense because you're controlling it, and the AI is, again, not doing dumb things with your team. So that's like 4 teams right there on offense that you can use for. The other 15 that's really great on offense, and it's the Rebel team. Let me pull up Rebels. God. Come on, EG. There we go. And this is the team that I love to use on offense, is the CLS Han Solo Chewbacca combination with Chirrut and Baze. And I'm looking for your Chirrut and Baze. Where's your Chirrut and Baze? Okay, your Chirrut's gear 10. Probably want to get him to 11. Your Baze is 6-star gear 7. Probably want to work on your Baze. That team, it's disgusting. It can take out pretty much everything. It's not too bad against Revan 2 because you get to go first with Han, and that is a big deal. You know, when you're facing a team, plus with the counters and stuff, you can put tenacity up. It's a trade killer team. It is a team that it can really lay pain to any team. So it's a team on offense that you really like, that I really like. I don't like running R2 because I like to keep R2 on the JTR team. Old Ben, I kind of like to keep out of there as well because I'm using Chirrut and Baze. But that is a really disgusting team. So I've given some teams. Finn, any teams that you like to use on offense?
So offense, I end up using a lot of like plug and play type stuff. So it's interesting just to see his roster, right? So Visas Mar is a character I've been liking more on offense now that I have her higher up.
Great on offense.
Because she does help you with getting additional like reses and whatnot, so that you can try and end your battle with maximum people. Now it's more of, again, I'm talking more on the cleanup realm than anything else. I'm trying to look where his guild is. So his guild is 137. So he's more than likely going to be in a guild where you're going to have cleanups. It's not going to be like clean killed all the way through. And so Visas Mar is really a plug and play character that I've liked a lot. And so I think that's a character. You mentioned crew, right? And working on crew already?
What?
Did you talk about crew yet? Specifically, First Order?
Oh, no, First Order is a defensive team.
He asked for both. Offense and defense.
Offense and defense. Sorry, so those are some offensive teams. First Order is defense. There are certain teams that are defense because they can regen health and protection, and they're really solid on defense. First Order is one of them. Now, your First Order needs some work. Mainly, it's just gear. It has nothing to do with anything else. You want the other Zeta on Kylo Ren, and you definitely want the Zeta on First Order Stormtrooper. But that's a great team on defense because it's simplified. The team that I run is Kylo Ren, First Order Officer, Kylo Ren, regular First Order Stormtrooper, and Executioner. You've got 2 taunts on there. They do assist. They give turn meter. They give health and protection back. Executioner just runs around Kassan chopping the hell out of things. It takes a really, really good team to beat that because Kylo Ren's Unmasked gives 30 speed. You want your First Order Officer fast as hell because he will give his turn meter, do his turn meter thing. That's all he does is just give turn meter. And it's a great team. If you leave that team with turn meter, it's a pain in the ass to take out because once they get going, they're really, really, really good. So that is a solid defensive team. It can be taken out. There are teams that can take it out, but you have to use a really good team to take it out. You can't go in there with a scrub team because you will basically give them turn meter, and you don't want to do that. The other team that's really good on defense is Bounty Hunters with Bosk lead. Let's look at his Bounty Hunters. Bosk lead with the Zeta. There you go. You also got a Jango Fett. Oh God, look at that.
Yeah, I'm jealous. He's also got a Gear 12 Vandor Chewbacca and a Gear 12 L337.
Yeah,
I am
we'll
jealous.
go to the Kira team with that. But Bosk, Boba Fett, Jango, Dengar, Embo, you leave that on defense. Have fun. That's a disgusting team. Usually, typically, it's just the old school bounty hunters that I leave on defense. They do very, very well because of boss lead. They're regenerating health, they're regenerating protection. That team, if someone sees that team, they're gonna be like, eh. It can be beaten. There are teams that can beat it, but again, you're a certain thing about defensive teams. The reason why certain people use certain defensive teams, one, they can regen health and protection. They're really good on defense, right? The other thing too is you have to counter with a really good team. So having a team like this on the board makes someone have to use a really good team to beat it if they are going to beat it. So there's a reason why these teams are as good as they are. Bounty Hunters, with the way you got your lineup, yeah. Definitely want that on defense, and it'll make a nightmare for someone to face that because Boss Zeta is just a pain in the ass to deal with. You're going to have to use a GTR, things of that nature to take out the Bastila team, Jedi team to take that out. So it's why it's such a good team. So that's 2 defensive teams right there. The other one that's interesting to run, now Night Sisters are good on offense, but they're really good on defense too. Especially with the changes to Zombie. Now, Night Sisters, you can go 2 ways. There's 2 ways I've seen this. It's Asajj, Mother Talzin, Old Doc, and Night Sisters Zombie, right? The 2 that I've seen is Zaris on the team, and I've also seen Nest on this team on defense. Why? Well, if Nest, because she's so super fast, she goes first, game over, you win on defense, because the Night Sisters just do their thing. The other one is Zara. She just makes it so hard to kill because of her, what she does. It's a pain in the ass team to deal with. Can be beat. Any team can be beat, but it makes it a lot harder to beat. Now, some people go full Night Sisters. You can do that too. They are a little bit easier to beat. I mean, an Imperial Trooper squad can go in there and really get them because of just the dynamic of, you burn zombie, you're just constantly feeding turn meter to your trooper team, and they're just constantly going, and you're AoEing with your snow trooper, so it doesn't matter what the hell you do, it's going to kill it. Now, if you have a Nest or you have a Zaris in there, it makes it a lot harder for a trooper team to go in there. They're going to have to use a much better team to take out your Night Sisters. So that's a third defensive team that you can use. The other one is the Kira Scoundrel team. On defense, again, why are we picking this team? Because it regens health, and there's all kinds of ways. Finn, I know you're just chomping at the bit. Talk about the Kira team. You get Vandor, Chewie, you got all kinds of stuff you can add to this team.
Yeah, so I mean, the variations, I think there's 2 of them, but to what Ranger was saying about the Night Sister team, it ends up leaving out Nest. So there might be a change coming up, so I'll kind of caveat this because Karth may potentially change some of what's going to happen. So currently, the best scoundrel team, or however you want to put it, good guy scoundrel team, the light side, is Kira, L3, Zalbar, Mission, or Nest. But again, a lot of people are putting Nest with Night Sister, so it tends to be Mission, and then Vandor Chewie. And Vandor Chewie needs his Zeta. And the reason you need a Zeta is because with the Zeta, he does the res, right? So that's one of the standard teams. Now, the caveat is that Karthonassus is actually making it so the Zalbar mission combo may be better under Karth. And so you may see a little bit of a shift towards a Karth lead with Juhani, Kandris, Ordo, Zalbar, and Mission as one team. And then that would kind of force you back into a solo team with Kira. And it would still be a pretty good team. But you'd be looking at Kira with L3, Vandor Chewy, and then your other two to round it out could end up being Enfys Nest and Young Han, something like that. And so that's going to be kind of a to be determined with this upcoming territory wars, how well those teams kind of stand up. But the current team, I would say, and I'm trying to go through his characters because I think he has everything
Vandor,
ready, right?
Yeah, Vandor with the Zeta, Kira, he's got him, man. Zalbar 12, I mean, he's got the pieces.
Yeah, and his mission is Gear 9, right? So you're going to probably want to put your emphasis on the Kira team rather than on your Night Sister team, and then save your Night Sisters for offense, because especially at your guild GP range, Night Sisters are still really good on offense.
Yeah,
you can use them to break down the Bastila teams, right? Because you should be seeing Bastila and or Revan teams, but probably more so than it's going to be Bastila teams for the Jedi. And so you can use it for that. There may still be like Jedi training rays that are put on defense, and Night Sisters can break through those really easily. So Night Sisters are a nice thing to have on offense, especially for where you are with your guild GP. And so I would say keep your Night Sisters, put emphasis with your Kira team, and run Kira, Nest, Zalbar, Vandor Chewy, and L3. And that would be your Scoundrel team. It should do really well on defense. Good.
And if he has access to Kandris Ordo, he could put him on there, because with the damage over time team from Karth, man, Ordo is just going over and over and over and constantly putting more DOTs on people.
Right. If you go the route of Karth lead. I'm trying to see where his Karth lead is. So let's go to Old Republic, and I don't even see Karth. So he may not have unlocked Karth at all. I'm guessing he finished the event.
Yeah, it hasn't updated.
Yeah, I'm assuming he finished the event but didn't unlock him, so he didn't want the extra GP, which is fine. And so it's if you want to move in that direction. Now, if you go in that direction, I would also recommend, it's not necessary, but I would say to make that team kind of go over the top. One, you have to work on Kandris Ordo, who right now you just have a 2 stars, level 1, gear 1, so he's just kind of there. So you need to work on him. And the other part is Mission. You probably want her Zeta, because the ability to assist when Zalbar goes is part of what makes her so ridiculous, which is all the extra turns that she gets, which allows you to basically mod her with high damage rather than really needing speed. And so all of the extra attacks that she can do ends up being very useful. So if you can Zeta Mission, again, if you focus on it, it's not something you need to work on right now. So, so he says that he has the shards for Karth to get him 4-star, just not unlocked. And yeah, that's fine. It is a commitment to start working on that team. Your mission can still use some work. So if you want to finish Mission first, I think that would probably be better. Then you can put Mission on your Kira team. You can have Nest kind of ready for your Night Sister team. So you can kind of develop two strong defense teams. And with where your guild is, I think you'd be able to help them out quite a bit on defense, because you have some solid teams. Like your GP might be 2.4, but you've definitely spent in order to kind of get to this point, and your roster is very well developed for that. It is very high. I think it was 38. I'm trying to load it up again, going a little slow, but I think you had like 38 gear 12s and only 9 gear 11s, and then you're working on it. So you're definitely focused farming. You're pushing each character, trying to get them maxed out. So you have a very high-end, very concentrated roster, which makes you a very dangerous 2.4 million when you go into Grand Arena coming up, because your roster is not a scattered, it is not a fluff 2.4. So it's a very nice built roster, and I would say just continue with where you're going. Figure out which of those teams you kind of want to aim toward, whether you want to finish your first order, whether you want to work on Mission in order to be able to free up your nest for Night Sisters. Ranger went over some of the offensive teams. Chirrut and Bays, good investments. But I would say your scoundrels are fine for now because you can put Nest on that team. I would work to solidify your first order personally. And just work on your first order team and work on crew, work on your first order officer, get all of them high gear, all of that stuff. I think they're going to give you the best reward in Territory Wars.
All right. All right. Next thing is we wanted to look at mods and a second ship lineup, right?
Correct.
Let's
So
pull up mods.
his current ship lineup
All right, we'll go
for
to ships.
Arena. Yeah. So his current ship lineup is Executrix lead with TIE Advance, Houndstooth, and Silencer in the starting. And then his reinforcements are Phantom, Ghost, Slave One, and TIE Reaper. So
I don't like that.
he's in rank 6 right now, so
I
he's
know.
not having an
Oh
issue.
boy. I mean, if it's working, then don't change it. Okay, so we're going for a
It's
second.
heavily dependent on Houndstooth surviving. And again, looking
Chimera's
at
only
his
5-star.
roster, the fact that he's a 2.4 and so highly concentrated, I have a feeling, and correct me if I'm wrong, Northern, I feel like you're out muscling a lot of your
Very
fleet
much
chart.
so, yeah.
So take advantage of it. If that fleet works,
Hell yeah,
then you don't
muscle!
have to invest in anything else. Stay at the top and collect them crystals,
You
and then you can
lucky
focus a little bit
bastard.
more later.
So we need Chimera. He's 5-star. Get him to 7-star. So typically people with I'm assuming this is for Territory Wars that we want a second fleet. So we have our primary fleet. Then what you do is like I see people do this. Either they go Geonosians with Houndstooth and ships and reinforcements with, like, say, Executrix on offense. And then on defense, they'll use like a more standard team to stay on defense, like Chimera with, Biggs.
Mace timeouts are coming up too.
Yeah, Mace timeout. So it's just about picking a theme. If you want to go Mace timeout, you can. You need the Galactic Republic fleet ready to go, and a great ship in there is Anakin, because he comes in there, does his AOE, exposes. He's already done a whole bunch of stuff before then, and it really helps. And it's really a pain in the ass team because, with Plo Koon, yours is only 3-star, your Umbaran's only 2-star, Ahsoka's 2-star. I mean, you got a lot of work to do with your Republic, but they come in, they're constantly giving each other protection and health and taunting, and it's a real pain in the ass. You had Anakin's ship in there just coming in and doing its thing, and it's like, good God, like, won't you die already? God, die! It's the kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's an option, but you have to invest heavily in all the other galactic ships. But mostly what I see is people will save their Geos, or vice versa, one or the other. They'll have the Geo fleet with Executrix with their reinforcements to go in and be offense or defense, and then they'll take a standard team like, TIE Fighter, Biggs, Slicer with Chimera, and have a fleet like that, so on offense. So it just depends on which route you want to go. You can go Mace fleet on defense. It's really great on defense because it's such a pain in the ass team to deal with. Or you could go with like a PvP lineup team with like Chimera and, Biggs, TIE Advance, TIE Fighter, something along those lines. And then on offense, you have your Executrix with your Geos, to go do what you do. Geos are great on offense. They really are. So that's kind of how you want to look at a second fleet. Looking at what you have, we got some work to do. You've got a great one lineup, but a second lineup, not enough ships done to really do it. You just have to decide.
There's a lot of pilots that need work. You have a lot of ships at 7-star, but a lot of your pilots are under geared to really be tanks.
Yeah.
Like you can't use Biggs right now because your Biggs is only gear 8, and that is not enough for Biggs. Because Biggs is actually a fairly squishy ship if he is not recovering his protection. And so your Biggs can actually go down pretty quick. He
does have a 6-star Hound Youth.
He's going to make me cry. Just so you know.
Stop it.
Yes, the Poe. Why don't you have Poe?
It's a great ship.
Okay, so work on Poe. Start working on a lot of the other ships, but I would highly recommend Poe, because Poe, especially in territory wars, you can bring in on offense and allows you to kind of keep some other things on defense. Silencer is actually a ship that works well on defense as well, but he can also help you on offense because you can control his stun a little bit better than what you can with it on defense. Geo's a good ship group to work on. You only have 2 of them, it looks like, Sunfac and Geonosian Soldier. So you have to work on Geonosian Spy, get the trio up. And so you have a lot of options here. I do like the way you've built your ships so far. You focused on a few ships, worked on maxing them out, and then kind of gone from there. So, yeah, I don't think you have a solid second squad.
No.
yet.
Not yet.
But you have some potential here if you can work on particular ships. And Grande has mentioned this earlier. You can try working on first order ships, command shuttle, TIE silencer. You've already kind of started work on those. If you're working on your first order for your territory war team, then you get kind of a dual purpose out of it. And then your first order TIE fighter, you already have a 7 stars, and then you're working on the gear of your 5-star first order TIE pilot. And so first order may be a direction that you want to look at for your next ship group, because it'll coincide with the ones that you're working on for offense in territory wars.
There you go.
So
mods.
Work on your pilots too. Your pilots need to work.
Oh,
on
yes, yes.
Okay,
And
I'm going to do something
gear
now.
11, just gear 11, that's all.
Okay, Ranger, no yelling today. I'm going to look at the mods on his pilots. Don't yell. All right, let me look at his Bosk. So looking at his Bosk first, he has 5 dot mods, level 15 on all of them. Okay, so we're good there. Let me look at TIE Advanced, and TIE Advanced has 5 dot level 15 mods. Okay, so far we're good. And then his other starting lineup is Crew, and his Crew is 5 dot level 15 mods. Okay, so his starting lineup all has 5 dot level 15 mods. Ranger didn't have to scream today.
In horror.
So do make sure that your pilots all have 5 dot level 15 mods on them, and that will help them. Again, it doesn't matter the stats on them, just 5 dot level 15, and that will get you to where you need to, at least from the pilot side, until you can get their gear up. So minimally you can do that. It looks like you've done that, so good job. Just keep on pushing your fleets, and I think you'll get there eventually. But really, it's a problem with fleets that it just takes a little while to build not only your ship, but then also the characters, and the characters can unlock the crew ability, and a lot of times the crew ability is like the crucial part of the ship. And so it just takes a little bit of time as you kind of work on the gears. So I think First Order would be a good setup for you, because it does overlap a lot with what you'll be working on. So just kind of continue that way. All right.
Mods.
All right, so if we look at your mods, and I sort by speed secondaries, you have your
They look
mods.
pretty decent.
Yeah, they're on his arena team, pretty much. You have a little bit on Jedi Training Ray here and there, but they're kind of focused because you have like a crit damage set. They're not too scattered. I think you could probably get your Revan a little bit faster just at first glance, but you're able to get high in arena. I'm not worried about it. Like he's kind of said he's brute forcing, he's wallet warrioring his way up, and that's fine. It's actually, and we've mentioned this before, if you are going to invest in this game, the best time to invest is early, because you can hold your position in arena and fleet and basically make up the crystals that you spent in order to get up that high. And so pretty much having a guaranteed rank 1 in fleet or arena for a long time is worth the investment early in the game, and it kind of pays off long term. It's much better than kind of the panic farm spending, because you're getting the character and then there's no clue as to whether or not it's going to break or not. So you spent, from what it looks like, you spent at the right time. You're taking advantage of it. Keep on collecting those crystals. You've done a good job there. Mod wise, again, your Revan may be able to get faster, but it doesn't seem like you need it, so don't worry about it. You don't have a lot of mods at 6E, and so I actually think that's a good thing. He does ask a question as to when he should slice to 6E, when he should slice to 5A instead.
5A is priority.
So his roster is actually a little bit different, and that's because he is a spender. And the reason I bring that
he's
up,
got a lot of gear 12s, so
exactly.
he can get away with slicing up to 6E and not have it affect his roster as badly as it would, say, like play with 3 Gear 12 characters like
Exactly.
himself.
So he's playing the whale game. So we mentioned this before. There's a difference between how you play this game as a free-to-play versus how you play it as a whale or a spender. And you are an example looking at your roster of somebody that is playing the whale game, and you are actually doing a really good job of it.
What a whale wants.
So if you're playing the whale game, what you're going to be doing is taking characters to gear 12 more consistently than a free-to-play who should be taking to gear 11 and making their characters at least viable and selectively taking to gear 12. Because of that, your 6E mods will end up being pretty much useful on most of your useful roster. And so if you're doing that on your useful roster, then you can take mods to 6E. Now, how do you decide which mods to take to 6E? First thing I would recommend is make sure that your roster is all modded relatively close. So you should be trying to mod, let's say, your arena team. Make sure your arena team is first fitted with your 5A mods. If you can fit them all with 5A mods, then you can slowly start taking them up to 6E. In particular, the ones I would recommend are the J mods. And the J mods are the right column plus the circle. So it's the arrow, the triangle, the cross, and then the circle. The circle is only if it is a health primary and the character relies on health. Protection primary does not get a great bonus. So any mod that has a protection primary, I would wait to take to 6E. There are probably other mods that gain a better benefit. The circles, or any of the mods that have a health primary. Now, again, I'm looking primarily at the primary stats more than the other stats because they get the most benefit out of going up to 6E. There are some stats that do get a nice percentage boost. For example, offense percent. It goes up like 202%, I think, that the percentage amount. And so you can get a nice boost, like a 4% going to a 10% health. And you can find some gems like that. But overall, and this is kind of an overall summary, you have to look at each one a little bit more carefully, is go with the J mods and find primaries that will give you the most benefit. Speed in general will not give you a great benefit. I'll tell you that right now. In total, you can take all 6 of your mods up to 6E and you will gain a total of 7 speed. And so it's not a huge deal. Now, it can help. I'm not saying it won't help. But you have to make sure that you're selectively taking your mods up to 6E. And because you have to be selective, look more at the primary stats that are going to get you the most bang for your buck. Another thing to look at is that 6Es have a major impact in fleet. And so if you want to put it, and you're not using your Tarkin, and you said that you're using Executrix. So potentially, I didn't look at his Chimera. Let me take a look really quick here. He has a 5-star Chimera. So potentially you do want to get some 6E mods on Tarkin, but Tarkin isn't being used anywhere. So I am fine with you keeping him at 5A for now, because 6E is not going to give you, you're going to be wasting 6E mods on Tarkin. So I would say hold off on that. But ships, pilots, getting their mods to 6E does have a major benefit. So you can focus on that. But look at primary stats. Crit avoidance is one. If you want to look at the primary stat, crit avoidance is one that I really like. Protection is not, but health is if you have health-specific characters. Offense can be a good one. Critical damage only gives you 6%, but sometimes that extra 6% does make a difference, especially in PvE content, so you can potentially do that. And in terms of which mods to take to 5A, it's usually the letters that I use, which are the purple 4s, or the color number combo, which is purple 4, blue 3, and then purple 3. And essentially what that means is that you look at the color of the mod, you look at what their speed stat is, or whatever stat you're looking at. It can be offense, it can be protection as a secondary, which is not bad to take up as well. You look at their secondary stats and see what number in parentheses that you have next to it. So purple 4 means that you've had that particular stat hit on 3 of the upgrades plus the 1 in order to reveal. So basically, that stat is as maxed out it can be from the rolls itself. Now, the rolls can vary from 3 to 6 on speed, for example. So you can potentially have a purple 4 that has like a 12 speed. But if you have one, I would still roll that up. But try to roll up your purple 4s, then your blue 3s, and then your purple 3s. You'll get your stats a little bit better. And slowly start working on your 6Es. So I have zero issue with you working on 6E simply because of the way you have built your roster, because yours is definitely a spending roster and you can build it accordingly. This is, again, not the same advice we would give to somebody else that's free to play, because he has, if you looked at his profile, he has like 38 gear 12s and 9 gear 11s. He is focusing and spending and doing what he needs to in order to get his roster to gear 12. So you want to build your roster accordingly. So it's whenever you get a good mod, go either way with it, Northerner. It's open to you. I don't think the way you're building your roster, there's anything wrong with it. Try to see if you can get 6Es on your fleet, but make sure that they are characters that you're going to utilize too, because it is a lot of effort to get characters or mods to 6E. So be selective and be focused on which characters you want.
All right. All right, so that is your roster review, Northern. If you have more questions, please let us know. You can get with us in our Discord, and you can message us, as we do that for everybody that we do a roster review for. Also, if you would like a roster review, all you need to do is send your GG page to Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, and make sure he responds, and we will get that added to the queue. And when your time comes, we'll let you know ahead of time when it is your turn, so you can be live and watch us when we do your roster review. All right, so thank you for that, Northern, and again, shout out to your girl AOK Acolytes. All right, Dr. Finn, I think we should do some. Questions.
And I should unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great if you could.
I told you they're doing the work outside, and so I'm trying to make sure that the noise doesn't come through. They just came back from lunch and started their. I don't know if you can hear it.
No.
They're starting to place the roofing.
Other than
Okay.
you.
Good. Yeah, they're starting to place the roofing tiles now, so I had muted. Okay. Oh wow, we have a lot of questions here. Okay. So let's start. See, question from who? Question mark? Question mark. All right. So, question: can I get a special shout out to my wife, Lakehar Glitter Sparkles? Today she reached level 85 and unlocked Thrawn. Yub nub. Well, yes.
Well, of course.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So please let me know how to pronounce her name correctly. So it's Lehcar. So I think that's Lakehar, and then Glitter Sparkles is the name.
What a name.
So if that's correct, then shout out to Lakehar Glitter Sparkles for hitting level 85 and unlocking Thrawn.
Awesome.
You are at the same level now as Grim on Thrawn.
Hey.
Sorry, Grim.
Yeah, no, it's fine. the game has not been kind to me on hair shards. I'm still farming her, dude.
All right.
It's not cool.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Tony Bobby question. I don't have Treya. How to counter Reventine? So, unfortunately,
Nest doesn't work anymore.
yeah, Nest is not working anymore with regards to that team. So, one potential team is the Night Sisters with Barris, which so far I haven't seen as being super consistent. It really does end up being kind of a mod gauge with that team. So if you have better mods than the other person, you can beat them with that team, the Night Sisters with Barris. There is another team, and it does require that you mod correctly and that you have a little bit of better mod than your opponent. And it is a Emperor Palpatine lead with Scion, Nihilus, Thrawn, and Sith Trooper. Your problem is going to be that your Thrawn has to go first and put a fracture on Revan. Because if he starts getting that mark off, you are going to lose a character. Like, it's pretty much done. You're going to lose a character. The second problem with that team is that without Treya, you don't have the isolate to put on Grandmaster Yoda, and that little frog is going to start putting buffs on everyone. And so it is going to end up being a speed game to try and get the Annihilate up. And you, depending on the team setup, you may even want to annihilate Yoda first, because you're not going to have a way to control Yoda. Normally, the first character that you annihilate is either Revan or Jolee, depending on the team, if you faced it, how you like to fight them. It's either Revan or Jolee typically that you want to annihilate first with Nihilus. But in a scenario where you don't have Treya to isolate Yoda, it may be something to compete with Yeah. You. It's just hard. It's just hard.
Finn's tongue-tied.
Yeah, because it's hard without Treya. That little frog goes crazy on you. So it's really hard. The Night Sisters, again, the one with Barris is super inconsistent. There is a better one where the 5th is Night Sister Spirit. But again, it's more of a mod check. So I hate saying it. It's just hard. It's hard to beat a Revan team without Treya right now, especially after the nerf to Enfys Nest. Otherwise, I would have told you hands down it's the Maul team, and you put Maul, Scion. You could have gone without Treya. You could have gone Maul, Scion, Nihilus, Emperor Palpatine, and Nest, and been fine. So, yeah, that's the unfortunate part. I apologize that I don't have better news for you.
CG being like, people that didn't fork over cash for Revan or have fun playing the game, fix that.
I am kind of torn on this. I don't mind Revan being this OP because people paid for it, and it has been a long time in this game since people that paid for a character have had an advantage. There hasn't really been a time for a long time. Like, then this goes back maybe to Sunfac and Rex being the last time it was there, where people that played had a big advantage over those that didn't pay, or the free-to-play that managed to save up a lot of resources and get it for the first time around. Whichever the case is, it's been a long time since that has actually happened. So while it is frustrating, and I wish there was more of a counter, it's hard to figure out exactly what the best way is to counter it, and whether or not it's a bad thing for the community that you have a character like this, because it does reward the people that pay, and they're the ones that are keeping this game going. So it's a little bit of it's
a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's a palindrome. There's another thing Shills Ghost mentioned too. I've started to see that team as well, Shills. So Shills mentions that you can use JTR with Thrawn. Again, you need a fast Thrawn. You also need a fast BB-8, and you're trying to get that fracture off. You can do a turn meter reduction with Rey if you have a fast BB-8, and so that team does work as well. Again, it is a mod check. There is no pure counter to Revan. It is all a mod check. And how good are your mods compared to the others? Are they at least reasonably close? Are yours better? It's hard. I don't know if we're going to see a pure counter to Revan anytime soon, to be honest. I don't think C-3PO is going to be the answer. He's going to be another fun character, maybe along the lines of Chewie, but I don't think we're going to see a pure counter anytime soon.
Like Hermit Yoda. That's what I think C-3PO is going to be.
Yeah, his play style is probably going to be along that line.
More passive than aggressive.
Mm-hmm. All right. Artorius Drac Knight, question. Why isn't anyone quoting C-3PO? Ranger?
Because
this is madness.
Can you do a C-3PO? I can't.
I mean, no. I mean, it's an English. It's an English butler, and then it's and C-3PO, human cyborg relation. Shut up, 3PO.
That was pretty close, dude.
Revenator, question. I was told there was hookers and blow here. Where did they go? Whoever told you wrong.
No, that's our dream.
Yeah, we're trying to get there.
That's the dream.
It was Ranger's dream, and he woke up. That's where it went.
It's a dream for the future. Just throwing that out there.
Well, that's your. We had
crap on the dream already. No, that's your dream too, Finn.
No, mine is porgs and Twinkies. We already had this discussion. God. I want a room with a bunch of porgs that I can play with, and then Twinkies. So.
Yeah, I'd rather go for the hookers and blow. Thanks.
Oh, I know. That's why I'll have the room all to myself. Fat Tony 99. Question: do you see Django being needed for anything, or can I ignore him for now? About to finish Houndstooth to 7-star and have many other hard nodes I need to farm.
I mean, he's a great character, but he's not necessary, you know.
I'm gonna disagree with this.
I think he's gonna come into play here very soon because he is one hell of a good character.
You get no argument from me there. He's great, especially on offense. He's disgusting.
His leadership ability does not just affect bounty hunters too, which is, it affects all scoundrel. Just to put that out there.
It's a good character. But it depends on where you are with your
so
roster.
okay, so I'm gonna admittedly tinfoil hat a little bit, and I'm going to tell you that I think Django is gonna play a bigger role than some of us think, and primarily that's because of the original trilogy Falcon that is coming. And my guess is that we're going to have the Falcon come out, and it's going to require that you have bounty hunter ships, and you need a minimum of 3 in order to do the combat. And if you need a minimum of 3, there's currently 4 bounty hunter ships in the game, right? And they're all now free to play with Xanadu Blood and IG 2000 coming into the game. And so if you need 3 of them, and I figure this is going to be a somewhat hard event, so beating it with 3 is probably going to be an RNG fest, unless you have like the pilots and everything geared. But Django, I think, is going to end up with a ship, so that by the time the second time around comes, you have a chance of being able to use 5 ships instead of potentially 4, and making it easier. I think Django is going to be getting a ship, and I think that's what this is all kind of leading towards.
And
we may get a Django ship at the same time as the OT Falcon is released later this month. And it would not surprise me one bit if that happens. It won't be necessary, I don't think. They're not going to make it mandatory. I think they're going to require minimum 3 bounty hunter ships. So it's not like you have to pay for... That would be a real money grab if they like released a character and like, yeah, you need this specific one in order to play. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think it's going to be quite helpful in order to get Django. So some people are going to be able to attempt it with 5 ships. Some people will be doing it with 4, and others will be trying to like limp in with 3 and see what they can get done.
Also, not to mention, they put him on probably one of the better hard nodes to farm, because you're getting Houndstooth shards along with his shards. So it's a worthwhile farm.
All right. Oh, and I saw a question from Tony Bobby asking what the Jedi Training Raid team was. So the Jedi Training Raid team that I've seen, and I don't know what the variants are because I haven't played around with it yet, but the one that I've seen so far is Jedi Training Raid with BB-8, R2, Chopper, and Thrawn. That's the combo that I've seen thus far being able to beat Revan teams. And again, it requires you to have a fast BB-8 and then getting the fracture off. That's kind of the overall key to the team working. So yeah, I think that answers that question. So we can go ahead and move on to the next one. And the next one is Tangent Revolution. Question: when should you stop farming ships from the Fleet Arena store and focus on Zetas? When you have the Fleet Arena store exclusive ships at 7-star.
I'm trying to say.
I wouldn't stop. I mentioned this before, and I know some people have a different philosophy on it. I would not farm Zetas from the Fleet Store until your ships are all 7-star, because it is a lot harder to pivot and get 7 stars than it is to pivot and get gear, because you can spend crystals on gear and get them much easier than getting shards for crystals. The conversion just does not end up in your favor for that. So, and again, I'm saying Fleet Store exclusive characters, which means that it's not characters that you can get from Galactic War. If you can get ships from Galactic War store and they just happen to be in the fleet, don't bother getting it. But there's a lot of stuff in the Fleet Arena store that is exclusive there, including characters. Don't forget Fulcrum Ahsoka. Don't forget Vader. Don't forget Chirrut, right? There's a lot of Fleet store exclusive characters that I would farm too before I would work on Zetas. And that is the exact way that I did it when it first came out. So that's the way I would tell you to do it as well. Any other thoughts, Ranger Grim?
No.
All right.
It's a good place to farm Poe.
Yes, it is. Get that Poe. Get that Poe. All right.
Moral of this story is get Poe, because Finn will cry if you don't.
It's true. I do cry a little every time I don't see Poe. All right. Mr. Pennypinch, question. Is it safe to say that Treya's lead is negated with the quote-unquote fix to Scion? Frustrated about it. We talked about this yesterday. It's a bug. They're looking into it. It's not working as intended. So just kind of bear with them. Essentially, just change the order of the way things were happening. And so it's just a little bit of a bug. It is not a fix. They said they're looking into it. It was an unintended issue. So hopefully they get this resolved soon, because it does change the way Arena works, and it is quite frustrating. So I really hope this is kind of a top priority fix for them, but they are working on it. So yeah, just kind of.
In other words, soon TMs next year sometime.
Yep, soon TM. All right. Ralph C. question: what lineup in ships would you use to beat Houndstooth, Slicer, and Vader? I'm having a hard time with Houndstooth and Double Geo.
Stuff with buff immunity, dude. Once you stick Houndstooth with buff immunity, he's not going to gain that protection up. He's not going to gain all the other buffs that he normally would when he puts breach characters.
Yeah. I don't have much of an issue with Houndstooth teams so far, and I'm kind of working my way back up in Arena, so I've been able to make it into like the top 20 and stuff, because I've been kind of lazy on ships. But in general, I don't have an issue with Houndstooth as long as I use Biggs, TIE Advanced, and Imperial TIE, because Vader will put target lock, Imperial TIE will put the buff immunity, and then I can call Vader to assist and basically kill when I have Chimera lead. I can call Vader to assist and dot and all kinds of things, and Houndstooth doesn't regain. So I would say Biggs, TIE Advanced, and Imperial TIE still work as a counter to Houndstooth.
And if you don't have access to a high TIE fighter, you can, and you may have access to a high Gauntlet Starfighter. That one works well.
There is another option too, which is use Chimera and save Houndstooth for last. You can, if you're using you're using double geos. I was going to say, if they're using double geos, and Sunfat comes and you can force a taunt. Yeah, you can try and just wait for Chimera and try to outlast them with your geos, and see if you can get a Chimera kill on the opposing Houndstooth. But that one's a little bit more annoying to deal with. But so yeah, I would go with the Biggs team. It's worked well for me so far. Hellenix question: damn it, Finn! I started my day reading news articles referencing Grande. Then I start my YouTube to the list and started listening to the RSG lunch stream and hear you using the D word. I give up. Hashtag I blame Finn. Ding! You got it right. Artorias Drag Knight question: anyone in an arena shard have a shard mate have a tantrum because you didn't ask permission to be in their payout?
No.
No?
I've had that happen before.
Did you kill
them? Got pissed off because I knocked them out of their
No. I think he's asking about the change. So people are shifting from Eastern to Mountain, and they're getting upset because you didn't get permission to move into Mountain during their time.
Oh well, that's tough titty, said
the
kitty.
That's just stupid.
What?
The person throwing a tantrum needs to
grow up, get a life,
have his privilege checked. We need to check his privilege.
Yeah. Sorry, they don't need your permission.
If somebody's gonna whine about that, deserve to get knocked out of their payout.
Sorry, people
have lives.
Yeah, and they have permission from the game to do it. And if you don't like it, get better or shut up.
Now, for what it's worth, our arena shard, like mine for a regular arena, has kind of talked back and forth about who's moving where, and we have like a spreadsheet to see where everyone lands. So it's nice if you coordinate, but if somebody changes to a time because they just can't fight, and they move to a time and there just happen to be somebody else there, well, too bad.
Too bad.
That's just stupid. People have to play in order to have fun. I'm glad they added this, so people are able to play when they are available to play. And if it infringes on your time zone, well, too bad. You had your time zone for close to 3 years. Now you can learn to share like some of us Eastern people do with 10 other people at our payout. So,
you know what's funny is with this thing, I think the dude in my payout shifted their payouts because I haven't been getting knocked down like I used to before this fix got put in.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned this before. My Eastern time zone had a few people like shift out already. So Eastern is actually ending up being a decent time zone for me now because a lot of people have emptied out. because everyone wanted to shift
Sure.
because it was crowded. And so you just kind of wait it out and let's see how everything shakes out. As long as the time works for you. We mentioned this before. Change time zone not for competitive advantage, but because it's a better time for you to play. And then see how the competitive advantage works. You shouldn't try to shift over to Iceland just because you're going to get a potentially a better payout, because there's going to be other people that are doing that too. But if it works for you as a better time, then go for it. So
Agreed.
Then otherwise just wait it out. Let's see. Next question, Nick Merck. Question: what is a good resource to point my guild leaders to for recruitment and mergers? We'll probably need about 20 more active players.
Helenix would be a good person to go talk to, because he's part of the guild recruitment and Discord and stuff. So,
yeah,
Helenix from the UO, Corellia, and the GRDS,
which is the Guild Recruitment Discord server. That's GRDS. Right. So he's definitely one, and I hate doing this.
What?
Grande is constantly looking
to
expand
no.
So if you would like to be a or Dark Lord and Savior, Grande Patron, he is. So as much as we rag him about the Dark Lords and stuff, he has been doing a really good job trying to get people into Heroic Sith and grabbing guilds that have active people. Now, if you have to be like 20 really active people that are really trying and pushing, because they're not going to take slackers. You have to get your 600. You have to show effort, all that kind of stuff. So Dark Lords is another potential, and I hate mentioning that, but yeah.
We are the Dark Lords. You will be assimilated.
And talk to Hideous. He will have no problem telling you about his Dark Lord and Savior Grande Patron. That is what Hideous does now on a daily basis. So there you go. I like the chat. No, Dark Lord. It's just a mix.
You're not a good man, Finn.
You know it's true.
No, I don't.
Daniel McCracken, question: looking to 5-star Akbar and Windu's capital ship. Currently run Phoenix Biggs. Which other two should I work up? Are 2 Jedi ships worth raising, as I need 2 more for Grandmaster Yoda?
What?
So he's working on Grandmaster Yoda, so he's going to work on the Jedi. He's asking, should he work on Jedi ships in order to try and get the higher Akbar ships, right? Because you need like the Rebels.
Yeah, those are still tough.
Yeah.
Ones to complete. I still haven't completed Mason. Like, keeps on kicking my butt.
I'm trying to think how you should build up your light side in particular. So I'm assuming you don't have Chimera either. So I would definitely try and focus more on your Rebel ships, because that will get you more towards your Chimera as well.
Yeah.
So Wedge and Ghost.
Ship.
When you say Phoenix, I don't know if you mean Phantom,
I'm
Ghost,
assuming
or
Ghost
both.
and Phantom, yeah.
I'm assuming he means both. So if it is both, then that's good. Wedge is another ship you want to possibly consider. Wedge is good early game because of the burst that he has. He kind of fades out a little bit late game, but early game he's still really good. And
Cassian's. Yeah,
Cassian is really good. I would say Biston is actually really good too if you're going to plan on running Akbar. Biston is definitely a good ship. So I don't think I would focus on the Jedi ships. The Jedi aren't all that great, to be honest, with the ships. Jedi Consular is okay. Plo Koon is really good on the PvE aspect, but Plo Koon's character really isn't. Anakin is a decent character, but his ship is not free to play. So overall, I think we would probably direct you more towards the Rebel side and working on Wedge and Cassian, because Cassian can work for a Rogue One team when you do your territory battles. Wedge is part of the Wigs combo, which can be used in a lot of places, and it sounds like you're a earlier player, and so Wigs is going to be pretty deadly for you in offense and territory wars, I'm sure. It'll help you take out some squads. So I think I would lean you more towards Rebels than I would Jedi. Yeah, I see that, Paul Bracamonte. I know Ahsoka is good. I'm not saying her ship isn't good, but her character is kind of just in between.
Meh.
Ahsoka's character Snips needs some work. She's not bad. She can team up with Anakin a little bit and get some fun combos and stuff going, but Snips is kind of underwhelming. That's my biggest concern, is that a lot of the Jedi are underwhelming. Okay, so he says correct, no Chimera, and he means both Ghost and Phantom. Yeah, so yeah, I think I would start moving more towards your Rebels and trying to get that 2-for-1 and get your Chimera.
Yeah. But definitely Cassian's, man.
Mhm.
You gotta work on Cassian's because his ship all around is amazing.
Agreed. Doja-san question, are people just going to copy what they do for territory wars and Grand Arena, or will we see a larger variety of team comps? You will see a larger variety.
Yes.
Because there is a large deviation of GP in a guild. And so there are usually higher end players that are placing more on defense than the lower end players. And now the lower end players are probably going to have to place more than they're comfortable with on defense in territory wars in order to fill up their spots. So you're going to see a lot of different team comps, I think. Some of it, I think most of it is going to overlap. You'll still probably see First Order. You're still going to see Scoundrels. You're going to see Jedi Training Rays, CLS, Treya, Revan, the common stuff, Night Sisters. I'm sure they're all still going to be there, but you're going to see some hodgepodges, like maybe a Clones is going to show up, because now you know that not everyone is going to be able to fight a Clones because they're getting drained of resources too. So you might see seeing some Clones. You may actually end up seeing, I can't believe I'm saying this, old school Poggle lead with droids and Poe. I don't know how many of you guys were around for that meta, but Poggle lead with Poe and droids was a crazy meta back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the way that Grand Arena works, and it's still possible that Zeta Finn with Poe is the way to keep Poe, but it is possible that Poe with the droids and Poggle is going to return, which is scary because I don't want to work on Poggle.
Yeah, well, I have to see how good C-3PO's synergy with droids is first, though. If C-3PO has a really good synergy with droids and has, you know, a good kit, it's gonna make a droid freaking team amazing. There's a lot of us that have been working on droids for a long time, hoping for a good meta to come along. So,
and the other part too, Territory Wars does not have something that Grand Arena is gonna have that they mentioned, which are gimmicks. Grand Arena is going to have the occasional 3v3. It's going to have selective characters every now and then. So you're going to kind of be forced into coming up with different team comps because you're not going to have the 5v5. So, yeah, I think you're going to see different compositions, but there is going to be a lot of overlap.
Well, that and the word that I've been hearing is you can get better rewards depending on what you put in. As far as teams go, putting in meta teams might not the best rewards. So
Hermit Yoda alone on defense. That's where I'm going.
I've been in, so we'll have to see once it starts and we get one under the belt, you know.
I'm going to be placing Hermit Yoda alone on defense, so there you go. Let's see. Next question is from Star Rocks. So he says, question, if Northern Border's roster is decent but needs better pilots, does Southern Border have an awful roster but G12 resistance pilots?
Oh my god.
Yes, next question.
Yes. Makwa, question. I will unlock Treya today. Congrats.
Hey, congrats.
I have Gear 12 Ewoks. Should I use my 2 Zetas on Treya or wait to see if the Ewoks need Zetas to complete C-3PO?
Save them for Treya. You don't need the Zetas.
Sure, bro.
Really, they don't need the Zetas to be effective.
Nah.
But Treya's priority.
Where are you in fleet? That is my question. Because you have 2 weeks in order to get another Zeta. If you can get another Zeta in 2 weeks, I would say put them directly on Treya. If you are not able to accumulate another Zeta by 2 weeks, which is the timer on the Ewok pack, the reason I'm kind of going is because I have a feeling that you're going to need a Zeta Chirpa lead in order to beat this, in order to make it easy. Now, he has Gear 12 Ewok, so he may be fine because they're Gear 12. But honestly, I would say what is the impact on you getting Treya now? And will it help you in Arena? Will it get you higher in Arena? If you have Gear 12 Ewoks, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Makwa. I'm going to guess that you also have Revan. And if you have Revan, then I would hold one Zeta and put a Zeta on Treya's unique. Wait until we get the details of the Ewok event, and then continue. So I would. I honestly am afraid that you're going to need the Zeta on Chirpa lead. Just that one. I think everything else will be extra, but I have a feeling that you're going to need that, just like you needed kind of a Zeta on Bosk lead to really make it easy. Not that you couldn't beat it with Boba, but Bosk lead with the Zeta just made it easier. So
okay, so we're in other words, what we're going to agree on is until the event comes out, you can beat it without. Awesome. If you can't, then do it.
Yeah, pretty much. So you can just hold it a little bit and see what the impact is now. If Treya makes a difference for you in Arena, whatnot, and then go from there. You're trying to get the most bang for your buck with these Zetas, right? So what impact will Treya have if you Zeta her now? Like, will you be able to get into the top 10 of Arena? If so, no hesitation. Forget about C-3PO. Go for Treya. But if you're using Revan, for example, and you're already getting rank 1, then your Treya is just kind of an extra team. And so you have time until your territory war starts, because we're still on phase 3 of territory battles, which means you don't really need Treya with Zetas right now through territory battles. So you can just kind of wait and see until we get the C-3PO kit, until maybe you even attack on the first day of the event, so you have an idea about how difficult it is. Like, there's a lot of variables that are still open right now, so you can just kind of wait at this point. Jedi training bogus. Question for the panel: do you prefer farming a faction, Ewoks for C-3PO, or rather have a marquee for him? I think a mix makes more sense. I would get bored if everything was a marquee, and that would, yeah. I like the mix. I think it makes sense for C-3PO to be a legendary, and then needing a faction, and some characters being marquees, and them kind of mixing it up. What do you think, Grim?
I think it's cool that they're actually putting in the game, but I would rather seen him like go as a, let's say, a reward for the Grand Arena. That would be cool, because I mean,
they still may have something.
A legendary character though of this game.
Yeah,
is he gonna be a game, an actual game changer like most of the other legendary characters are?
Oh, good. I called Makwa correct. Okay, Makwa said he has Revan, and he hit.
I'm gonna start calling it the Grande Arena.
The Grande Arena, while you have the Patron title. So I did call Makwa correct. So Makwa said that he does have Revan. I assume it's a he. And again, sorry if it's not. And said number 1 in Arena every day. So yeah, you're not going to get a huge impact out of Treya immediately. So I would definitely wait for you. Wait until you have more details about C-3PO. Potentially even wait until the first day of the event to see how difficult it is with your Ewoks. Save 1. You can use 1 on Treya's unique. That's the one that allows you to use it under Emperor Palpatine and still be effective. But put a Zeta on her unique. Save the leader 1 for now and see if you may need it on Chirpa. So that would definitely be my suggestion to you. Let's see. The next question is from, let's see. I got that one. Got that one. Paul Bracamonte, question: is Anakin good anywhere in the game? He's my favorite Star Wars character because of Clone Wars, and I want to G12 to unlock that avatar. How bad is this idea? I don't think
it's been my power.
He's not that bad of a character. It's just
he's a plug and play. You have to know what you're doing.
Is he a meta character? No.
He's a territory war plug and play finish character. Buff immunity, can give offense up. He has a lot of utility to him. So he's a cleanup character in territory wars. I really like using him because he's a pretty strong character, and he can gain a lot of turn meter whenever your rest of your team starts to drop in hit points and all of that. So I think he is a decent investment. As to whether or not you should do it It depends on your roster and where you are. But he is not a bad character. He's just not a meta character.
Yeah, that's right. I say.
And unfortunately, Ship is still locked behind a paywall. So
yeah. And next question. Daniel McCracken. Question: with all the Bastila Grandmaster Yoda squads in my September 2018 shard, what Empire squad would be the best matchup with Emperor Palpatine, Thrawn, and Vader? Currently level 79, so I don't have Nihilus or Scion. Crew, Boba, Tarkin, TIE Fighter pilot. Emperor Palpatine lead does not work well against Bastila because they gain tenacity and you can't place any debuffs. It's awful.
Well, it might work with Fallen Bastila. Has anybody tried that with an MP lead against a regular Bastila team?
Night Sisters. God,
I mean,
why bother trying to? So again, it's a rock, paper, scissors game, right? So rock beats scissors. So why are you trying to strengthen your scissors to try and beat the rock? Go with the paper instead. Night Sisters is a really good team against Bastila. They don't really need a lot of gear. All you need to make sure is that your zombie is geared up to level 10, so you get the extra reses. And Night Sisters should be able to beat Bastila fairly easily. I wouldn't bother trying to fit an Empire team there.
Though, I completely forgot the old EP counter to Bastila teams was Sith Marauder. It works. I know you guys hate it, but it does work.
Yeah,
you just
but
lost it to give all your guys potency up, and then all the debuffs start sticking.
I'm not saying it doesn't work. What I'm more concerned about is telling a level 79 to work on Sith Marauder.
Yeah, that's true. But still.
He is definitely an ancillary character that has uses, but definitely not one of the first characters I would tell somebody to farm. So
I'm sorry, I'm under a bunch of cold medicine right now, so
so I think you should focus more on working on your Night Sisters as a squad that can help you a lot more, I think, in the game overall. Rather than trying to kind of bash your head in to try and find a way to get your Empire team in order to work. Now you can run like a Talzin lead with Asajj, Daka, Zombie, and then Thrawn. That can definitely work. The Fracture is very nice to utilize. And getting a Fracture on a character lets you start getting... So you might be asking, just to kind of clarify here, how do you get Plague going if they have Tenacity up? Zombies Basic puts Tenacity down on a character. That makes it so that there's no longer the Tenacity down. So you Plague one character and let the Plague spread. That's the way it works. If you use Fracture, that also helps with trying to get the Plague to spread. And so the combination of the 4 Night Sisters plus Thrawn can work out really well for you. You can also use a tank like Kenobi or something like that. If you're in a guild that you're kind of getting Kenobi shards at level... And there are some where level 79s are able to get Kenobi shards and stuff. I just don't know the details of your guild. But yeah, I would say don't focus on trying to work on Empire to try and just beat Bastila when there's better counters. Then we got that one, and so here. Star Rocks 923 Lego question. I put Jedi Sith prestigious quest on hold and working on Tactical Genius. Would you recommend working on that quest before the Raid Tune quest to get them all done quickly? Whatever you want. These are all vanity items.
There's no.
I would
Whatever
just do
makes
whatever.
you happy. What
these
do you
are
want?
these are vanity. You get titles, you get profile pics. It is all vanity stuff. It's fun, but it's all vanity. Just have fun with it. Do whichever ones you want. I don't think it's worth discussing honestly which order to do the quests in, because it's literally whichever ones you want to do. So I wouldn't.
Really, that's right on point.
And then he added an addendum. My Fulcrum quest needs 5 territory war wins. Bounty Hunters needs Wampas. Can't drop either of them anytime soon. Posting Tactical Genius requirements in Discord. Yeah, I've seen them. Again, whichever ones you want. If you really want all of that, the portrait stuff. You get some other stuff like the mats and whatnot. And I know there's some of them that give you the some of them give you like gear 12 plus gear and whatnot. So if you want to focus on them from the gear, that's fine. I mean, but again, there's a lot of time and stuff, and it really is more vanity than anything else. So I would say it's up to you, whichever one you want. If you want to try and go after those pieces of gear for the one-time gain, go for it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know Star Rocks. A lot of them have been added. They've been given some extra rewards and stuff. There's like Ship Omega. There's Omegas. There's some Gear 12 pieces now on some of them. I know they added stuff to the quests, but really they're a one-time gain. That's not going to be a huge impact long run, and there's a lot of effort that goes into completing it. So really, just do whatever the hell you want for fun. To be honest,
seriously,
it's not a huge difference. It's not going to be a major issue, to be honest. I have so many Ship Omega saved up because I'm not bothering to use them on characters that I don't need. And shaved. They're nice and shaved, unlike my face. Okay, Speedo Kills question. If the new matchmaking really works, squads and similar GPs, isn't Grand Arena basically a mod check? What would the biggest, most positive surprise? What would be the biggest, most positive surprise you'd like to see in Grand Arena? So for the first part, yeah, it pretty much does end up being a mod check. That's pretty much what it is. How well is your roster for being a whatever your GP is? How good is your 2.4 roster compared to a different 2.4 roster? And we just saw, for example, Northern, who has 38 Gear 12s, right? There's going to be other people that have 2.4 that have no Gear 12s and maybe like 50 Gear 11s. So which is better? Which has better mods? Who has more effective characters? That is what Grand Arena is. So, yeah, you're exactly right. It is going to be a mod check of sorts. But it is going to check some other things as well, just in terms of how you built your roster. So that's one part of it. The other part you're asking is what would be the biggest, most positive surprise you'd like to see in Grand Arena?
Voltron.
Form Blazing Sword. Kill Finn. The Voltron team wins.
I don't I don't know. I don't know if there's anything in particular.
I mean,
that would be like the biggest or more. So it's a game mode that's just trying to allow people to use their roster and have fun and all of that. I don't know if there's anything that I would consider a big surprise. At least nothing that's reasonable. I'll put it this way: nothing that's reasonable. Like the biggest surprise would be, for example, the top half of each bracket. So anyone that has a even or winning record in Grand Arena gets an automatic 7-star Jedi Luke unlock.
Oh,
like that would be a huge surprise, but it's never going to happen.
Surprise, motherfucker!
So in terms of realistic positive surprises, it's really just going to be once we get an idea about the loot. I think the rewards as they're posted right now are temporary just for this initial phase. Remember that the other ones are going to have eight people. So it could be that what we're seeing are the top and the bottom rewards, and then everyone else is going to be in between moving forward, or these are just temporary for the exhibition, and then it's going to change. So the rewards is possibly the main thing that I would see as a potential surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Speedo 7469 Texas.
Oh, hey.
Texas. Right, but TX, so I think I'm going to say...
That's Texas.
I know TX stands for Texas, but I don't know if that's the reason why he put it.
Well, he shouldn't have put that then, because we're going to assume that's Texas.
All right, Texas Zombie. Question. I'm free to play. I tend to get big characters like Jedi Knight Revan and Jedi Training Rey on the second time around. Is that normal for free to play? 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly the way you should be doing it, in fact. So if you get it the second time around, you are doing things correctly. It is the ones that we tend to yell at, like Miss McVenom for her Jedi Training Rey, is when you try to get it the third or the fourth time around when you know that the event is coming again.
Well, you went for the new shinies.
Miss McVenom was constantly getting distracted. Now we do monthly roster reviews in order to keep her on track.
It's amazing how fast her PvP standing goes up when it gets near our roster review.
Yeah, I know. It is pretty fun to watch. All right.
So let's see here. You were 300. Also, you shot up to 50. What happened? Well...
Well, that's like me. You know, I'm not gonna be getting Revan before I get ATR.
Not with that attitude.
All right. Next question from Fat Tony 99 question: how much do you have to spend in this game to be considered a whale, in your opinion?
Over $1,000 easily.
I don't know. I don't really
That's
look
Dolphins.
at the amount, to be honest. I look at just where your roster is for how long you've played.
If you Google whale, it'll say "See Grande Patron."
Yeah.
Yes.
Compare your spending to his. What a whale wants, what a whale needs.
Yeah, I mean, really, to me, what a whale is just based on how progressed your roster is compared to how long you've been playing. So there are some people that spend a lot of money in this game and don't know what the hell they're doing with their money, and their rosters are behind free to play. And they might have spent money in the game, but I wouldn't consider them a whale because they're just frivolously spending. Whales are much more concentrated and knowledgeably spending. And so I would just say it's more based on your roster. We use other classifications kind of loosely, like dolphin and minnow and goldfish and all of that kind of stuff. But to me, it's really whale, or kraken is just excessively spending. And by excessively, I mean basically a character comes out and is 7-star within minutes type of thing. Mm-hmm. So whale is somebody that spends, not trying to get everything in the game right now, but has spent a lot in the game, and it's kind of obvious from the way that the roster is built. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Next question. Nathaniel Morgan question: how excited is Ranger to look at everyone's Ewoks for the rest of the time?
Next question.
Chewy question: do you think Grand Arena will be changing once it goes into normal mode?
Well, it's going to go into...
it's going to go into 8 people first instead of the 1-on-1, and then it's also going to have different game modes where it's going to... Right now it's 5-person teams, right? But they said they're going to introduce 3. They're going to introduce some character restrictions. Like, there's going to be some fun stuff that they're adding. So what they consider fun now, once we test it, we'll see how it works out. But they're adding some different modes.
That's true. Paint drying may be fun to some people, but not fun to others.
Hellenix question: I've had to deal with Darth Hideous on the RSG Lunch stream on a daily basis for a long time now. Even he admits that makes me a victim. Can I have the Jedi Knight Revan doll? I'd like to show the therapist where Hideous touched me inappropriately. Also, I think I'm in shock. Hot cocoa, warm blanket, please. Grande Hideous is probably going to kill you for calling him Darth Hillary. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm fairly sure that the big deal is going to come out and protect his little apostle there.
His minion.
Yeah. I think you made a big mistake there, Hellenix. Just saying. That was a big mistake.
I don't know. All else fails if you DH.
Yes.
And I blame Finn.
Ziglet question: should I hold off on farming Embo for IG 2000? Other farm is Xanadu Blood over Django.
No.
Yeah, I say go for the ship.
IG 2000 ship sucks.
I say go for the ships.
Ugh, so bad.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be needed for the Falcon. I think all the bounty hunter ships are going to be needed for the Falcon. The way that they're releasing this and everything, we have probably about 2 weeks before the announcement of Falcon coming at the end of this year, going into New Year's. I would start working on all of your bounty hunter ships now. Xanadu Blood, IG 2000. Make sure you're working on your Houndstooth. You have Slave 1 farmed up. Get them all. Chewy question: do you think they'll replace Poggle on the Xanadu Blood node soon? They should, considering Poggle is Galactic War Store also, right? I think he's Galactic War Store. Yeah. I think they'll change him soon. Notorious BFG question: were Mark V stun gun salvage removed from the guild store? I haven't seen them in almost a month. If you mean guild event store, then no, I got some earlier. Mark V stun guns were never in the guild store itself. They were in the guild event store. So, yeah. If you might be looking in the wrong store if you're talking about the guild store. If you mean guild event store, it's there. I got them yesterday, I think. Chewy question: do you think the fleet store could end up getting more tunes and ships soon?
It won't. Didn't they? Wasn't that one of the ones that they said is not going to get anymore?
I hope they change their mind soon on that. I really do. We're getting so many on hard nodes now. It just feels awful. I think they need to change that here soon.
Yeah, but they can't make money off the fleet store. They make money off the hard node.
Yeah, but yeah.
And they will choose money over free stuff for us. Sorry, that's just how they work.
All me question. Aside from Revan, is there a faction that you think will be a surprise in Grand Arena?
Tuscans.
No.
Next question.
Tuscans may dominate in the 3v3. I have no idea.
Hey, Tuscans actually do have a really good synergy. They aren't meta characters. They aren't characters that'll change the game, but they do have good synergy.
In the 3v3 stuff, Ranger, it's possible. Because
they
are a fleet with a Tuscan Shaman, Tuscan Raider. You have the makings of a tank, a healer, and an attacker.
Let me know how that goes when you get your ass stomped.
Oh, I don't really care. I'm the one putting Hermit Yoda alone on defense.
I know, but I'm just saying,
the wrong person.
Everybody that wants to do that, based off that
if
advice,
my Tuskens have a defense, that would be pretty awesome.
After you're hurt, please just come let me know how bad it was, and
I'll show you on the Revan doll where they hurt my.
That's what will happen. So I'm just throwing that out there. The RSG Comfort line will be available, and then you can go punch Finn in the face.
Chewy question: why is it a bug that seems correct for the order on Scion? If you're talking about the Scion bug, they did change up the order. So the way it used to work is that the Dispel on Traya happened first, and then Scion's unique took into effect as to whether or not they had pain, and if they had pain, they gained the taunt. What's happening now is that Scion's is taking effect first. So first, Scion is checking if there's pain, and he's gaining taunt, and then Traya dispels. So what happens at the end for the players when you see it is a turn starts, Traya has, or whoever your character is, has no pain, and yet Scion is taunting. So it looks ridiculous because it makes no sense that your character doesn't have pain showing and Scion is taunting. But it's because of the order in which they're doing it. They're running Scion first instead of the Dispel, and that's the bug. So yeah. It's not the right order. Hellenix question. Hideous, you've been too quiet. Are you all right, bud? I'll retract my question if it bothers you. Too late. Too late. Bradzo, question for Ranger. Would you rather have free hookers and blow or be the main designer for our Lord and Savior Revan?
Hookers and blow. Love Revan, but not that much.
There you go.
Oh, if they would have let Ranger design Revan for the game, oh man, it would have been awesome.
Well, if it's for the game, I guess I could give up hookers and blow for that.
I mean, Revan would have been much better and would have been real Revan, not this imposter.
That's true. I'd take one for the team.
Yeah, but Chewie, the mechanic on Scion is also at the start of the enemy's turn, so both turns are starting. Chewie is saying that it's because her turn has to start. Her turn also has to start for Scion's ability to take effect. So that point is kind of moot. They're both occurring with the same trigger. The question is which one should go first. The wording on the start of the turn really makes no difference. So next question is from Two Fingers. Question: will it matter if C-3PO has good synergy with droids if there isn't a good droid leader? Grievous rework in January.
There you go.
Or personal rework.
I think C-3PO is going to have more of a synergy specifically with R2 than all droids. They may end up on a droid team because they're both droid in faction, and so you can put them under different leads like HK or something and get it. So that would work.
It's entirely possible he might be a combination leader for both the Ewoks and droids. We'll have to see what they do with her. Wow, with his kit.
Hellenix question: do we have a firm date of when CG will give us the official kit reveal for C-3PO? No.
Soon, TM.
Notorious BFG question: Finity, what's your GP? I want to get matched against you against your Hermit Yoda solo defense team. It is 3.976. Actually, I think so. Let me check right now. Yep, 3.976. Star Rock's addendum to question: raid tune quests have gear rewards though. Yeah, We know. Yeah, we discussed that after that. Chewy is asking, so why wouldn't the one with the higher speed win? That is never the way mechanics work. Mechanics have an order in terms of how they're executed. It has nothing to do with the variable of speed. Otherwise, the game would blow up. I'll tell you that right now from a coding side. If every mechanic you checked which character had this better speed in order to figure out how on the start of the turn mechanics work, it would blow up. So yeah, that's not the way it's supposed to work. The problem is also how you look at it at the end for the player. Your character does not have pain, and when you're able to do an action, and Scion has a taunt, it is ridiculous looking. It's awful. Makes no sense. So they have to run the dispel first if there's a trigger using the fact that there's a debuff that ends up getting removed. Like, it just doesn't make sense with the way it works. In general, too, most games will always give the first action to your team. And then they'll give the second action to the defense team when there's those kind of triggers. There's very few instances where the defense gets the first trigger because it just doesn't make sense in most cases, because there's usually some kind of active thing that happens on one team and then kind of a passive for the other. So the passive is by Scion basically saying, if you have it, you're getting this, versus Treya that's almost actively dispelling, and usually those go first. But they said it's a bug and they're going to fix it, so we should be able to work through that. So in the meantime, just try and get some shocks on Scion, try to get a fracture on Scion a little bit differently than you normally fought until they get that fixed. Let me do one more check, but I think that's it for questions.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh, we got 2 more questions. Gooey Guacamole. Question, Finn, what type of pornography are you into?
He likes the ones with a story.
Yeah, they needs to have a story. If it doesn't have a story, then all that pork stuff is worthless. Revenator, question, what is the best way to lower my GP by 200,000 so I can face Finity in Grand Arena? Go on vacation for a little while and come back.
Or just
unequipped mods.
Yeah, unequipped mods, there you go.
Yeah, it's true. You won't need mods in order to beat mine.
But if you don't get Finn, then
yeah, it locks in at the beginning. Plus, remember, there's 8 other people that are going to be, or 6 other people. It'll be me, you, and 6 other people potentially. So it may work against me, but then everybody else, you're going to have an unmodded squad. So yeah, good luck with that, I think.
Happy birthday.
All right, that is it for questions. I'm telling you, by the way, you guys should all be nice too. If you end up in one of those things with somebody else that you know, I would suggest you guys do that too, because half of these things in the for these events are silly. It's like win battles with an undersized party.
Yeah,
what
I care about that. I'm not even gonna bother.
No, but that's why you partner up with somebody and it's like, yeah, I'll put Hermit Yoda, you put Hermit Yoda, we can both get one thing. Like, yay. Well, you do get some Gear 12 pieces and that kind of stuff. So there are some rewards, but it's like, okay, fine.
All right, so
have some fun with it.
Yeah, Finn, let's talk about some ACS stuff.
All right. So we have
right now.
All right. So again, in the description of the YouTube video, we have 3 different links for you guys. The first one is to the Tiltify campaign. If you guys go there, you'll be able to see how the like what we're able to give away. So it's a big campaign. We have some stuff for you guys. You can vote on challenges that will get you to help us with stuff. So if you want to do the challenges, that'll get me to wear a wig. There's Warrior putting a Zeta on a character. Grande wearing a CG Carry Pool Boy shirt. I mean, we have all kinds of things. Plus, we have the rewards. And the rewards have the wristbands of $15, and we will send you the silicone wristbands. I have a group of them that are about to go out here that I'm sending out tomorrow, actually. So the mailing process has begun for those. So if you guys would like to donate to the American Cancer Society and get a wristband to commemorate the event and the campaign, again, limited time only, please go to our reward section and get yourself one of those wristbands. If nothing else, it'll help to support our Stu Strong campaign. So that's what we're hoping for. And then you can go to the polls and vote on the Zetas. Unfortunately, I think mine is a lost cause at this point. Rose Tico is going to be my Zeta, unfortunately, unless somebody very nice saves me and gives me Clone Wars Chewie.
Rose Taco ain't gonna let that happen. Sorry about it.
I know.
Yeah, you are destined to Zeta, Rose Tico. dude.
I know.
It's best to accept it now.
I know.
It
there is Warrior Zeta still too. So Warrior Zeta is there as well. So we have that. Plus we have another fun one with regards to us recording some scenes and whatnot. So you guys can vote on those as well. So we have some polls that you can vote on. Go check out the Tiltify page. It's the fun way for you guys to donate and be able to get some rewards. There's also the lightsaber that we're giving away once we hit our 15,000 goal. Every dollar that you donate does count as an entry into the raffle for the lightsaber. It is an awesome, awesome, awesome lightsaber that was hand-built and machine-made essentially by Sword of the Jedi. It is a Mara Jade replica lightsaber, and it is... Oh my god, Loki was drooling over it. That's how awesome it was. So
yeah, pretty much.
So definitely make sure that you guys do donate. We have our mega stream happening on December 15th, so please make sure that you join. We're planning some special guests on there that I think you will recognize once they're on there. So we have some special guests that you will recognize, some that you may not, and we'll have them introduce themselves as well. We have the ACS. If you have a company that matches and you're looking to donate, we have the link directly to the American Cancer Society page set up for the Reality Skewed Gamers team. And so you can go there and donate, and that should allow your company in order to match as well and donate to the cause. So you can do that. And of course, the realityskewegamers.com homepage, there is a link to our charity stuff, and you guys can check that out there. I think that covers everything. And we do have one additional question that did come in at the very, very end by one of our longtime people. So I do want to read his question. Xylo1111. And he says, question, is the Ewok gear pack worth it?
No.
No, I'd say
Actually,
no. All the pictures I've seen, people are getting stuff that
you've got time between now and
think
then
it
to
is.
gear. I don't think it is. Wait until you get a good sense of where you're at with your gear for the next week. Gear your Ewoks and then look at it and then decide, is it going to be worth the investment?
So it depends on how many of the items you have, right? Of most of these items, 7 out of the let's go 6 out of the 8 I have less than 50. One of the other one I have less than 200. One of them I have a lot of. So that's 7 different items. They now provide you that pack probability, so you can see on the PDF what the distribution is. The distribution is set up so that you're never going to get double. They say you get 2 cards, right? And so each card you get at least 7, or you get at least 14 salvage total. So it's like a minimum of 7 essentially that you can get. And you're getting like 2 of these cards, and each card has a different set of 4. So if you look at the pack probability PDF, you'll be able to see kind of how they differentiate the 2 different 4 and see which gears you need. But in terms of how much you're getting and whatnot, it's not terrible. But you need every single piece of gear that's coming in there. If you don't need every single, or even 7 of the 8 items, if you're not low on 7 of the 8, it's not worth it. But if you need 7 of the 8 and you want to get it, it's not a bad investment. Plus, you have a chance of getting kind of the high boost and getting a bunch of extra. So that's why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't necessarily recommend people getting it, but the value isn't terrible. But it just depends on where you are on all these pieces of gear, so you're not getting duplicates of things that you already have, like 500 of, because then it would be a waste. So it just depends how much you've saved up on those things.
All right. And with that, we will end the stream, guys. Thank you for stopping by. We got more stuff planned. The best way to know about it is to be subscribed. When we do live events, you'll know about it. And also, if you could, stop what you're doing, hit that thumbs up on the video, and check out our Patreon as well if you'd like to support the channel moving forward. All right. So on behalf of myself, Grim, and Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, thank you guys for stopping by. On behalf of the RSG crew, have a great rest of your day, and we will see you later. Peace.